5 minutes until airtime on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 4 minutes until airtime. Mark, 4 minutes until airtime here on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue comes with 3 minutes until airtime. Mark, 3 minutes until airtime here on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 2 minutes until airtime. Until airtime here on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show broadcast. Your next time cue will be with 1 minute until airtime. Mark, network stations, we are 1 minute until airtime here on the Wake Forest Sports Network for our Coaches Show broadcast. Studios, please start your archive recording. Stations, if you encounter technical issues during this broadcast, please call the Wake Forest Studio Hotline at area code 336-831-0819. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, Mark, 30 seconds until airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter technical issues during this broadcast, please call the Wake Forest Studio Hotline number at 336-831-0819. Stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Wake Forest Sports Network.
Live from Miller's on Robin Hood, this is the Jake Dickert Show on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
There's a great opportunity here. The foundation has been laid. I'm excited to build on that.
Breaks a tackle, breaks a second, dives toward the goal line. Touchdown! Wake Forest with 1:01 to go.
Your weekly all-access pass inside Demon Deacon football is brought to you by Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official healthcare partner of the Demon Deacons, and by a Legacy Federal Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of Wake Forest football. Send your question for Coach Dickert to our inbox, wakeradio@learfield.com, or tweet at StanCottonWF. Now, alongside Coach Dickert, here's the voice of the Deeks, Stan Cotton.
All right, here we go. How you doing, Deektown out there? Yeah. Well, Coach, I don't know how you do coaches shows on the West Coast, but here in Deektown, we pack it out when the head coach is here.
Now, they said, Coach, there's going to be some people there. We're going to get this thing kicked off and started. But come on, let's hear it, Deeks. Let's hear it, Deeks. This is incredible. This is incredible. It's just great, Stan, just to represent Wake Forest football, a tremendous university. But these are the people, right? This is the heartbeat of Wake Forest. This is what makes us go. This is why we wake up every day and work so dang hard. It's just so proud to be here and to get this thing kicked off. It's coming. There's no stopping it now, Stan.
Yeah, we're, 8 days out. Kennesaw State visits next week. That'll be a 7 o'clock kick at a Legacy Federal Credit Union Stadium. We're on the air at 6. And John Curry told me a couple days ago we're less than 2,000 seats from being sold out.
Let's do it,
So it's going to be under the lights next Friday night.
Oh, it's incredible. I just want to say our guys have been working incredibly hard. And Stan, there's just so much that goes into building a great football team, to coming together, the sacrifices, the commitment, the camaraderie that's really been formed throughout a really tough fall camp. I'm just excited to kind of tell everyone about it and finally, get the product, get it out there. You work so hard at this game, you lift so much weights. Our guys are so ready to hit a different color jersey right now. I can't even tell you the excitement that's going throughout our building.
Now, with the game next Friday night, we're going to move the Jake Dickert Show up to Wednesday next week. So put that on your calendar. Put it on your calendar, Julie. Julie's always here. Brought Cook tonight. Great to see you guys. But next Wednesday night we'll be here, and then we'll kind of settle in to a more Thursday routine, which is what we did when I got here 1,000 years ago. So we're back to Thursday, back to where it started.
Yeah, I love Thursday nights. I mean, it's one of those things as coaches, I just get to have some one-on-one individual meetings with coordinators. The plan is in place. The guys have put in a week of work. It's just one of those times to enjoy that on a Thursday night. I get a little family time. We always have a good meal together, and then I get a chance to hang out with the family and the boys and be here with Deeks. I think is a really important part of our process, and, can't wait to see everybody at Miller's on Robin Hood every Thursday.
Couple of ways to get to us, as you've already heard, wakeradio@learfield.com. That's an email address, been the same for years, wakeradio@learfield.com. Or you can tweet to me at StanCottonWF, but you got to get in line. We got a bunch of questions already in for the coach if we get to those. So keep sending those out throughout the show, throughout the week. We got our first couple of questions about 10 days ago, Coach. People anxious about the start, and we'll get to those throughout the night. And then if they're evergreen enough, we'll hold on to some of those and ask them. So they just kind of start rolling on top of one another.
The best ones I like, Stan, you come here and you have a question, you just write it down on a napkin and you put it right here, right? So wherever you guys at, if you guys don't have Twitter, you don't have X, you don't deal with your email, we'll read some of those right off. Stan's good at kind of filtering those out as we go because it can be ever so dangerous as we go throughout the season. But I just know this, you guys want questions answered. Let's continue to go with it. I appreciate everyone being here.
Now that you mentioned that, we will have, like we did last year, the Greenway Village Dental question of the night. And Abby's here, and she's been walking around with little questionnaires you can fill out. And we'll let Coach pick one randomly. That's always dangerous. But randomly at the end of the show, and then we'll ask that. And also, we want to give you a quick shout out to our new friends at Frost Buddy. Imagine this now, you're at the game and you got your drink. It stays cold, but your hands stay warm. That's the Frost Buddy effect. And this here's the Universal XL go-to for any can or bottle and keeps your drink cold all game long. These will be available all season long at a Legacy Stadium. And one lucky fan here tonight going to walk away with a special Wake Forest branded Universal XL from Buddy. So stick around, enjoy the show, and you might be heading home with this special deal. We're going to draw for that at the very end. And Abby's also walking around. They look like raffle tickets, but put your wallet back in your pocket. These are free. We're just trying to give out as many tickets as we can. We'll let Coach draw for that as well at the end, and then you can maybe walk away with this cool little XL from Frost Buddy. So, Frost Buddy, we appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And, Coach, we appreciate you for getting here a little bit early. I saw you walk the gauntlet down through here. I don't know how many people are here, but well over 100, if not 150 Absolutely. Or so. But, and again, it just shows the excitement that folks have for you and your program.
And I said that too. I think, the moment I met a couple people at my first press conference, and, it's been great to just get to know Wake Forest, the history, the traditions, but it really is about the people. Every place I go, every alumni I meet, I've been at a bunch of different schools throughout my career, 11 to be exact, and there's a lot of fans. People graduate and they're just a bunch of fans, but I think our alumni, our fan base, they're invested members of our success. And I think that's what it takes day in and day out to build something really special. I said it before when I was on, the ACC media days. I believe I said, this is the best time in the history of Wake Forest football to get behind this program. And don't wait, right? And that's what you feel here, Stan. You feel an energy, you feel an aura, you feel a belief about what we can do together. But it takes all of us, and that's why I'm so proud to see this crowd here tonight and really to get this season kicked off.
And finally, before we go to a break, just give us a sense of your family and what it's been like to finally get settled, get your kids in school. That's always a huge thing. And on top of that, you've had to kind of settle in with your team as well, right? Some new faces that have made it here this summer.
Well, I have to embarrass her. Candace is here in the back. Candace, why don't you give a big wave? There's my wife. Let's give her a round of applause. There's nothing like it, to make a big family decision. This was the first one, where the kids were older. They knew what we were doing, but to finally be settled. My daughter made the Reagan volleyball team.
There you go.
My boys are on the Forsyth Broncos. They're playing football. They're playing baseball. It just feels like we're part of the community. We spent about 10 days in Lake Norman. We took some time to experience North Carolina this summer. Like, this is our new home. I think it's just been really special as a family to be ingrained in our community. And I've said it many times, like, Wake Forest and Winston-Salem, we got to continue to unite to do big, big things. And I believe in our thing here. And obviously I wouldn't be able to do it without Candace, her support and sacrifice, because after this, she's got to go pick up my daughter from volleyball. There's a parents' meeting tonight for baseball. Right? There's a lot of things that are still happening. So I'm just blessed to have her behind me.
And on top of that, you got to settle in with over 100 guys that you're trying to build a family. And you go to practice, you see it. You see that's coming as well. And if folks are able to see some of you in spring ball now, summer camp, I like to call it. We're still in summer. That's starting to gel and really, as you talked about next week, proof's in the pudding. We're all anxious to see that, but that's a process as well.
Well, I'm a big believer in just kind of, sports psychology and how you build a team. Like, connection is everything. Talent sets the floor of your team. Connection sets the ceiling, right? So when you're a really connected team, you're a really dangerous team. Because on 4th and 1, Stan, it isn't the most talented team that's going to survive that moment. Who's connected to doing your job, both, socially through trust and tasks through just going out there and wanting to go get it. So I think there's a balance that we're playing, but there's nothing like going through the wars of game day to really unite a team. And I can't wait to really get to that next step.
Packed house here at Miller's on Robin Hood. We'll be here every single week. We'll take a quick timeout. And more with the coach of the Deeks, Jake Dickert, on the other side of the timeout as you listen to Wake Forest football from Learfield. Looks right, pulls the trigger toward the end zone, going up to grab it. Did he get there? He did! Touchdown, Wake Forest!
Hey, Deke fans, Coach Jake Dickert here. As you prepare for your tailgate this season, remember to bring along some Pepsi. There is something special about tailgating in D-Town with your friends, eating some great food and drinking some ice-cold Pepsi. It's the perfect way to get ready to cheer on the team to victory. Go Deeks!
Wake Forest tailgating is always better with Pepsi. A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Go Deeks.
Into the clear, 10-5, and touchdown.
This is the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
There's the snap, give to Carney in the middle, he's in there. Touchdown, Wake Forest with 1:55 to go.
Wake Forest football returns to Dinktown for opening night, presented by the Winston-Salem Police Department. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock on Friday, August 29th from a Legacy Stadium. Tickets are available now. Order yours today at godeeks.com/tickets. We'll see you at a Legacy Stadium on August 29th as the Deacons take on Kennesaw State. Go Deeks!
Claiborne, Wildcat, takes the snap, hands the ball left, a throw downfield, pass caught by Claiborne at the 10, 5, touchdown, Wake Forest. What a play by the Deeks, razzle-dazzle into the north end zone.
Hey, Deke fans, Coach Jake Dickert here. Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Head to Miller's Sports Bar on Robin Hood, where the wings are hot, the beer is cold, and every seat has a view. Catch all the action, all the time, only at Miller's.
You're listening to the Jake Dickert Show. Ask your question to the head coach of the Deeks right now. Email your questions to wakeradio@learfield.com. Now back to the voice of the Deeks, Stan Cotton.
Back live on a Thursday night. Miller's on Robin Hood. We'll be here next Wednesday night ahead of Wake Forest and Kennesaw State. A Friday kick, 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air right here on the radio at 6 o'clock. Eastern Time. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by R.J. Young, your playbook for more than just copiers. They've got cutting-edge solutions. They cover those security systems, business phones, managed IT, and AV technology for your organization. Schedule your free consultation right now at rjyoung.com/Wake Forest. Standing the coach here, brand new Wake Forest head coach Jake Dickert. And, Coach, let's talk some about summer camp. How do you structure that? I know that there are drones everywhere. There's cameras. I know you guys watch practice over and over, not just live. You look at it repeatedly to look at all kinds of different things. How have you fashioned your fall camp, and how do you think that's really gone?
Well, I'd say it's two-phased, really. I mean, now when you look at all the way back even to true summer, we got the guys more than, we really ever have. And they're taking a couple summer school classes. They're doing their workouts. I mean, they're going through training. I would say if you got the players up there, they would probably say this is the toughest fall camp they've had in a long time. And I just think the biggest thing is we have to have a really tough football team. I say we got to be the toughest 11 people to put our hand in the dirt every single play. And the receivers are like, well, Coach, I don't put my hand in the dirt. I said, hell, you better be just as tough as that offensive lineman. Like, it's got to be a daily thing, and it's got to be a grind to it. You got to take care of their body. We're kind of a old school mentality with a new school approach. We still believe in the sports science, taking care of the body, but it's really ultra competitive. We have 5 things that we talk about in our plan to win. Starting fast, winning the ball battle, being explosive, tilting the field, and winning the fourth quarter. So that is kind of how we shape every practice that we do, and we make it ultra competitive. So, there's times we do fourth quarter 2-minute drills, and if the defense wins, they get ice cream sandwiches. The big D linemen, they love ice cream sandwiches, right? But we just find ways to test guys and be very situationally, aware, so when we get into the games, no matter what happens, our guys are ready to respond. And it's about trusting the training. And, the life of a student athlete in August is different. I mean, it's wake up at 5 a.m., it's go to bed at 9 p.m., and it is just work as you go throughout the day. But I think our guys have really taken it to task. It's been really physical, but our guys were ready for it based on our limited amount of injuries, and just excited about where we are headed into kind of the final week of preparation.
And by the way, have we mentioned that Damon Claiborne is going to be here tonight? Is he here yet? He is here. Yeah. We're going to have Damon on with us, too, in a little bit and give you a couple of segments off to kind of work the crowd a little bit more. A couple of questions that kind of relate to what you've been talking about. One thing, too, though, I like when you go to practice, you and your staff very honest with your team.
Yeah.
And in the practice, sometimes you say, guys, that's not good enough. Yeah. That's not what we're about here. And then other times you've been, hey, that's more like it. That's what we need. And I think young people, if you just tell them the truth, they can deal with that, right?
Well, I think first off, Stan, we got a great leadership team. And Damon, is one of those guys that have, from day one, has been all in. And they've accepted change. I think these guys are just really smart. When you create clarity for these players, they go out there and execute, right? I say this all the time, Stan, like, why is a big thing in our program. And not why is a question, but why is a statement. Like, we know exactly why we're waking up. We're really passionate and purposeful about what we're doing and how we're attacking our work. But at the end of the day, these guys are 19 to 23-year-old elite athletes, really smart student athletes. Like, you're not going to BS these guys, right? They need to be told the truth, when we did it right, what it needs to look like, and we're all learning together. Remember, this isn't just 43 new players, 125 guys on a roster. We also have 40 new staff members that are working through things in real time together. I was with a legendary coach named John Stiglmeyer at South Dakota State. He said it takes a staff 3 years before everyone knows everybody. And I told our guys, like, we don't have that time. Like, we have to do everything we can, over-communicate, have the hard conversations to make sure that we're out there with a really clear plan and a focused identity for what we're doing each and every day. And that goes to the players too. So I think staff culture is really important. Right? If they see us united, they see us together, they're going to go out and replicate that each and every day. So I've been really proud of our players. Every time I challenge them, Stan, every time you're there and I say, guys, this wasn't good enough. We need to do this or X, Y, Z. The next day, they're on it. They respond to it. And I think that's the sign of a really coachable team. I want guys that want to be coached, right? We talk about the right player, not just the most talented. Damon's a great example of that. Never once did he say in our last 8 months working together, Coach, I'm a finished product. He's like, Coach, like, my whole goal is to add value to Damon's life, right? And that is an everyday approach about how we're going to continue to grow and get better. And I think if the individual takes that approach, I think if we take that approach as a staff, I think there's a lot of great things that we can continue, to do in our program, and I think we're just scratching the surface.
Coach Brian's got a question that relates to what you're talking about in terms of how you've developed as a coach. He wants to know, what have you learned from your past experiences from Washington State and other places that you have said, yep, that's good. I'm going to bring that to Winston-Salem and mold what you're doing here from where you've been before?
Yeah, I laugh at that first-year head coach sometimes. You have a plan, you have a vision, and you think sometimes you have all the answers, and then you got to go into the wars. And then you really figure out who you are, what you want to be about, the men and women you want to surround yourself with as coaches in your program. And I've been very blessed here. We made a lot of really great decisions in our staff, and I think that's really kind of just got me in a place where I feel very comfortable and trusting with those guys. And I think football is very situational. Like, you got to know and understand that. But it's very psychological, too. Like, if my job was just X's and O's, that would just be 1/10 of what I do. It's dealing with the players. It's putting the right support staff. It's the academics. It's everything that we put around them. But I'm a different coach today because of the successes and failures that we've had at Washington State. And trust me, there's been some amazing highs, and sometimes you walk off those fields and crushing defeats, and I think that's what makes our game so special. You keep coming back, you keep learning, you keep growing, and I'm going to take that with me as we go into Wake Forest.
Quick timeout. On the other side, we'll talk a little bit more about maybe Damon Claiborne. He's part of the offensive package, and we'll talk about the Deacons on that side of the ball with coach of the Deacons, Jake Dickert, after another timeout. And as you listen to Wake Forest football from Learfield.
Hey, Demon Deacon fans, are you ready to level up your tailgate? This season, Little Richard's Barbecue is teaming up with Wake Forest Athletics to bring the tailgate straight to you. You can now pre-order your tailgate meal, and Little Richard's will have it hot, fresh, and ready for pickup at a Legacy Stadium when you arrive. Elevate your game day and your taste buds with custom tailgate packages featuring all your Little Richard's favorites. Call or order online now at littlerichardsbarbecue.com. Go Deeks!
Hey, Deacon fans, this is Wake Forest running back DeMar Claiborne.
There's the snap and give to Claiborne. Pulls his way in. Touchdown, Wake.
When your car calls for an audible, don't get stuck on the sideline. Get back in the game with Roger Marion Automotive. Their team knows how to tackle tune-ups, state inspections, oil changes, and any other problems your car or truck throws your way. Go see Roger and Coleman on Louisville Clemens Road near West Forsyth High School. That's Roger Marion Automotive. Served Demon Deacons fans for over 25 years. Go Deeks.
The Deeks live here.
Got it. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
This is the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
For up-to-date breaking news on the Deeks, there's no better source than GoDeeks.com, the official website of Wake Forest Athletics. GoDeeks.com provides detailed content of results of all Deacon sports teams, with innovative photos, live game and coaches show broadcasts, and in-depth interviews about the Deacons. GoDeeks.com is your complete online source for sports news when you just have to know. Visit GoDeeks.com and make it your homepage each time you log on to the internet. Go to the source. GoDeeks.com.
Pass is going to be caught after a battle at the 20, down to the 10, 5, touchdown, Wake Forest.
Hey, Deke fans, it's your coach, Jake Dickert here. As you prepare for the tailgate season, remember to bring along some Pepsi. There is something special about tailgating in Deketown with your friends, eating some great food, and drinking some ice-cold Pepsi. It's the perfect way to get ready to cheer on the team to victory. Go Deeks!
Wake Forest tailgating is always better with Pepsi.
To the Jake Dickert Show. Want your question answered by the coach? Our inbox is available at wakeradio@learfield.com or tweet at Stan Cotton WF. Now back to your host, Stan Cotton.
Okay, rolling along on a Thursday night. We are jam-packed here at Miller's on Robin Hood, talking Wake football with Jake Dickert. Wake Forest opens up with Kennesaw State at home next Friday night. Again, we're on the radio at 6. That'll kick at 7. Get in your seats and get there early. Don't forget now, you can upgrade your tailgate with Little Richard's Barbecue this season. New for this year, you can pre-order all your favorite Little Richard's menu items. Pick it up on site at a Legacy Stadium with your tailgate order hot and ready to go. Available at all Wake Forest home games. Let Little Richard's handle the tailgate menu so you can focus on the game day fun. Little Richard's Barbecue. Your winning tailgate starts right there.
And I got to add to that, I got a chance to try all these this summer. It was fantastic. Like, don't, just from a barbecue place, don't knock the sliders. I'm telling you, go out there and get the sliders. It's great.
With regard to Little Richard's, I got 2 words for you. Corn fritters.
All right.
Am I right?
All right.
You know,
I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
You could eat those for dessert. They're like candy.
Here's what I'll say, Stan. As my Sprite hamburgers became very famous this summer, okay, Little Richard's was also part of that players' feed with all they had wings and they had macaroni and they had greens and they had beans, and I got to set the record straight. Like I don't marinate them in Sprite. You know, I know everyone saw that. That was a pretty funny deal, right? You can ask DeMond out there. It's kind of how we keep them warm, and it gets a little sweet flavor to it at the end, and the old Nesco in the heater. So I was laughing. My dad was like, you really hurt the Dickert name when it comes to barbecue. Like, it was just one of those things where I couldn't get away from. That's an amazing thing to be famous for that.
There you go. Well, you can't go wrong at Little Richard's, I promise you.
You can't.
All right, this is going to be a short segment. I want you to talk a little bit about your offense, what you think, what your philosophy is. We've already talked a little bit about DeMond, but I know that number 1 figures in hugely to your offensive game plan.
Yeah, I already got the first 17 questions on who the starting quarterback is. So
we'll table that.
Announcements coming really really quickly. But, I think the biggest change is obviously the run game. We're going to feature DeMond in many different ways, but, not just DeMond, Ty Clark, Jamario Clemens. These guys have had an amazing just running back room, and it all starts up front. I think it's a really, we walked in, we really didn't have any offensive linemen, right? So we went to work on just putting all this together. So Falili Faumui, George Sell, who's a holdover from Wake Forest, has just been incredible. Devin Kalani has come with us from Washington State. Clinton Richards, Melvin Ciani, George Stye, Denny Dennison. I mean, there's just a group of guys that have worked really hard and really tough to be extremely physical, and you have to win at the line of scrimmage in the ACC. There's no way you can avoid it. So it's going to start there, and then, when everyone's got to come down in the box, whether it's quarterback run, whether it's DeMond run, we got to be able to hit our shots over the top. And, names like Chris Barnes, number 10, he's about 5'6", but runs about a 10-2 100-meter. Carlos Hernandez came with us from Washington State. Sterling Burkhalter, Karate Benson. Yes, his name is Karate. That's awesome. Jeremiah Melvin, R.J. Vick. There's a lot of names that you'll see. But the biggest change, I would say, Stan, especially from spring, maybe the last time we talked, is the tight end position. Harry Lodge coming back, Eni Falei, Will Lorzell, guys like that have just really kind of enhanced our game. They're downhill threats. They're guys that can do a lot of different things in the core of the box. So we'll be very multiple. But our offensive identity is what I'm most proud of. And that's probably what we found really here over the last 10 days about how we want to play football. And, make no mistake about it. I know Kennesaw State's watching, right? So we're not giving away all the secrets. But I'm just really proud of that group and what they're doing. And it's got to be a really physical, ground and pound nature in the way we're going to play football.
Well, we're almost to halftime here tonight, so we're going to take a timeout. All right. We're going to give you about 10 minutes off. A lot of folks want a piece of you.
There we go.
A photograph or an autograph, whatever. Just say hello. And we'll get DeMond up here and talk a little football with number one. We'll do that. We'll take a quick timeout. DeMond Claiborne next on the Jake Dickert Show, live from Miller's on Robin Hood.
At Vibe, we design spaces where people heal, learn, and work, whether it's surgery centers, libraries, or residence halls. As respected partners of Wake Forest University and Wake Forest Athletics, we're creating environments where champions are made on and off the field. From the classroom to the locker room, our team brings out the best in yours. Ready to elevate your game? Visit vibedesign.com. That's Vibe with 2 I's. Vibe, creating environments for well-being.
Hey there, food lovers. If you're looking for a dining experience that's both delicious and local, check out Sage and Salt Bistro. They use fresh, locally sourced ingredients to create amazing house-made dishes from scratch. Don't forget to explore their award-winning wine list and craft cocktails, perfect companions to your meal. And at their second location, The Station at Sage and Salt, you can enjoy live jazz and blues every Friday and Saturday night from 7 to 10 p.m. Visit sageandsaltbistro.com to make a reservation today and taste the difference local makes.
Coverage of Demon Deacon football continues after these local messages. This is Wake Forest football from Learfield.
Here's Claiborne dancing around, breaks to the left side, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10 to the pylon, touchdown, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest football returns to a legacy stadium on Saturday, September 6th for the Gold Rush game against Western Carolina. Kickoff set for 2 o'clock, and tickets are available now. Order your tickets today at godeeks.com/tickets. Wear your gold, and we'll see you at a legacy stadium on September the 6th as the Deeks take on Western Carolina. Go Deeks!
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Welcome back to the Jake Dickert Show.
To the left side 30, 25-20, 15-10 to the pylon. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
It's time now for tonight's Play of the Week. Presented by WXLV ABC 45.
Damon Claiborne, the deep safety for the Demon Deeks. A high spinner. Claiborne makes the grab at the 1. Here he comes up the numbers to the 10. Runs into traffic at the 15, but breaks through a little bit to the left side, 25 to the 30. Turns the corner, 40, 45 to the 50. Down the sideline, Damon Claiborne is picking him up, putting him down. He goes all the way for the touchdown. Yeah, all 100 yards. Brought to you by ABC 45 News, giving you more coverage and dedication to what matters to you. And no wait weather with Jonathan Went. ABC 45 News standing up for you. We'll bring you the Play of the Week each and every Thursday night. Hello, Damon Claiborne. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Excited to be here for sure.
You look great. I know you feel good. You were worried about me at practice, weren't you, yesterday?
Yeah, I seen you. I was going to run you over a little bit, but
Damon broke through, and I was on the sideline just waiting to step out there and pop him. He saw me. You would have broke my back with a move of yours. But how you feel about your senior season? I can't believe we're there already. But your senior season getting ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel great. Coach Dickert has came in and really made me enjoy the game again. I think last year a few times I kind of lost the love for the game, and him and his staff just came in and made it very known to us that he sees a lot of potential in us and that we can get this program back to where it was. And so being around great men like that along this journey, especially the last couple of months, has been amazing, and has been why I stayed through and trusted in the process. That
kick return for a touchdown against Miami, where does that rank in your career plays, going all the way back to when you were a peewee?
That's up there for sure. But, I think the Virginia Tech one was a little more special to me. Just
well, it was only 97 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, just because I'm from Virginia, and
sure.
So, going back in that environment and doing those big things is definitely special. But the Miami run was definitely special, and hopefully this year we can get something special like that to happen again back there.
And what were you clocked at on that run down the left sideline?
Like 23.4, 23.5 miles per hour, so it was moving a little bit down. Pretty fast. I'm faster now, so I'm excited to show that also.
How did you get faster from your junior year to right now?
I mean, just the great group of men. The stream staff this year, Coach Dickert's made it very known that he wants to be, a fast, speedy team. And so the whole summer we trained to get faster. We was doing things out in the heat. And, there was some hard days, and, some people broke, but we got through it together, and that's what it's all about. And, ultimately, it shows when we stepped on the field.
We're going to take a quick timeout right now, and I want you to think about maybe the top 2 or 3 guys that could give you a race on your team. And I don't know if we're going to go 40 yards or 100 yards, or maybe you like to run on the curve or the 200 meters. You think about that, and I'm going to ask Coach, too, when he gets back as well. So we're talking football with Damon Claiborne. He'll lead the Deeks on offense next Friday night against Kennesaw State. We'll take this quick timeout, more with him on the other side as you listen to the Jake Dickert Show from Miller's on Robin Hood.
When the Triad brings ABC 45 News their traffic troubles, we get them resolved.
I really appreciate 45 because you guys advertise. If you have a problem and you can't get it resolved, give us a call.
One viewer had thousands worth of damage to her SUV from a fallen tree by a roadway.
ABC 45 News went to work and had the tree removed in less than a day.
Send your emails to traffictips@abc45.com. Triad traffic troubles on ABC 45 News at 6 and 11.
Caller, what's your question for the coach?
Last week I noticed Wake played better when I stood on one leg, faced the quad, and drank a glass of the finest Pepsi. So for this week's game, should I drink my Pepsi in the first quarter to bring the Deeks luck early or late so we finish strong? Coach, I'm hoping you'll say both, but I wanted to ask because when I drink Pepsi obviously impacts our games. Thanks, and go Deeks!
Pepsi, proud partners of Demon Deacons football and believers in lucky fans everywhere. Pepsi, made for football watching. Go Deeks!
The home of the Deeks.
Intercepted by Wake Forest at the 32-yard line.
This is Wake Forest football from Learfield.
Claiborne, Wildcat, takes the snap, hands the ball left, a throw downfield pass caught by Claiborne at the 10, 5, touchdown Wake Forest. What a play missile into the north end zone.
Hey, Deke fans, Coach Jake Dickert here. Looking for the ultimate game day spot? Head to Miller's Sports Bar on Robin Hood, where the wings are hot, the beer is cold, and every seat has a view. Catch all the action, all the time, only at Miller's.
For up-to-date breaking news on the Deeks, there's no better source than GoDeeks.com, the official website of Wake Forest Athletics. GoDeeks.com provides detailed content of results of all Deacon sports teams, with innovative photos, live game and coaches show broadcasts, and in-depth interviews about the Deacons. GoDeeks.com is your complete online source for sports news when you just have to know. Visit GoDeeks.com and make it your homepage each time you log on to the internet. Go to the source, GoDeeks.com.
Listening to the Jake Dickert Show. Ask your question to the head coach of the Deeks right now. Email your questions to wakeradio@learfield.com. Now back to the voice of the Deeks, Stan Cotton.
Okay, a little past halfway home here on this Thursday night. Next week, class will be here when? That's right, Wednesday night, because the game is on Friday night next week when number 1 Damon Claiborne will be in the center of that Wake Forest offense. And then each week after the Deeks play, we'll have the Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist game diagnosis. Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official healthcare partner of the Demon Deeks. All right, you were clocked at 23-24 miles an hour against Miami. What 2 or 3 teammates of yours are maybe as fast as you or maybe even faster than you? Any of them out there faster than you?
Yeah, so I got one teammate, Rushawn Tom, safety for us, number 6. He actually got, some faster times than me this summer.
In what?
In the 20-yard, 15-yard, 10-yard sprint starts. And so he actually got a chain for it, so the string coaches gifted him a chain.
That's not long enough.
Yeah, I know it's not long enough, but I'm gonna let him have it. I try to be fast on game day, so
that'll work. All right, tell me about when you rush for over 1,000 yards like you did last year, 11 touchdowns, you return kicks for touchdown. You got a big old target on your back now, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody knows about Damon Clay. You're not going to sneak up on anybody.
Yeah,
so tell me about how you feel about the offense, and without giving things away, obviously, but how you feel about how things have progressed, where you guys are, and how you feel about being ready for next week and the weeks thereafter.
Absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity. Because I'm a well-known player and, teams will be scheming to stop me. We do have an explosive offense. We got explosive guys, from our receivers to our tight ends to even our O-linemen. And so just, being able to trust in the team to go out and to play collectively and to do it as one is what I'm about. My biggest thing is just staying consistent, just staying true to this program, doing whatever I can do to help the Deeks win. Coach Dickert has made that very well known that he wants to, give me the ball a lot and, let me do dynamic things. But we also know that it's a team game and we need the other 10 guys on the field with me to, also do their job. And so whatever I can do to allow the Deeks to win is what I'm about and what I stand for.
Coach and I were talking earlier about, obviously, every team's got to gel. This one has to do that. Your take on that as one of the upperclassmen, one of the leaders, about how this team is coming together. And he was talking about, and you guys always talk about, we just want to play somebody else rather than banging into one another every day. But your take on how this team is knitting together, getting ready for the start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, this offseason and, even in fall camp, our coaches have put us through hard things. We have faced a lot of adversity, early in camp, early in the summer. And so being able to get through those things and still be a team, to still be able to make it through camp and everybody really stay healthy. And, I think all that helps us as a team continue to unite as one and to gel together. And so those relationships and those conversations are a little different in that locker room now, and it's special, And so just continuing to build on, what Coach Dickert puts in front of us is what we have to continue to push as leaders, as, captains of this team, to continue to push for the guys to get the message is what I'm about. And as long as we can continue to do that and all keep our mind on the main thing and the main goal, and keep our mind on the main, the focus of team and the goals that Coach set for us, I think we continue to gel together and be an even stronger team heading into week 1.
Folks, there he is, number 1, Damon Claiborne. Not sure how many carries of the ball you'll have next Friday night, but 20, 30, 40, I don't know.
50 maybe.
Doesn't matter. Whatever it takes, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Damon, thanks for your time tonight, and have a great start next week. We look forward to watching your senior year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Damon Claiborne, there he goes. All right, we'll take a quick timeout. On the other side, we'll get Coach Dickert back here, take some of your questions as well as we roll along on tonight's debut edition of the Jake Dickert Show from Learfield.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
At Vibe, we design spaces where people heal, learn, and work, whether it's surgery centers, libraries, or residence halls. As respected partners of Wake Forest University and Wake Forest Athletics, we're creating environments where champions are made on and off the field. From the classroom to the locker room, our team brings out the best in yours. Ready to elevate your game? Visit vibedesign.com. That's Vibe with 2 I's. Vibe, creating environments for well-being.
Go Deeks!
Into the clear, 10-5, and touchdown!
This is the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
Hungry for something new and unforgettable? Sage and Salt Bistro has you covered. Check out Sage and Salt Bistro's latest edition, Tuscany by Sage and Salt, a northern Italian steakhouse serving homemade pasta and premium cuts of beef. From exciting weekly specials to their latest culinary venture, there's always a reason to come back. Whether it's Sage and Salt Bistro, The Station, or Tuscany, you're in for a world-class local dining experience. Visit sageandsaltbistro.com and plan your next night out today.
There's the snap and give to Claiborne. Pulls his way in. Touchdown, Wake.
Wake Forest football returns to a Legacy Stadium on Thursday, September the 11th, to take on Big Four rival NC State. Be sure to wear black and arrive early on game day. Kickoff set for 7:30, and limited tickets are still available. Order your tickets today at godeeks.com/tickets. We'll see you at a Legacy Stadium for the Wear Black game on Thursday, September 11th, as the Deeks take on the Wolfpack. Go Deeks!
To the Jake Dickert Show. Want your question answered by the coach? Our inbox is available at wakeradio@learfield.com or tweet at StanCottonWF. Now back to your host, Stan Cotton.
Jake Dickert Show number 1 of 14 of these bad boys throughout the we'll take a break. I think our second
bye week.
Second bye week.
Right in the middle.
We'll take that week off. We'll finish up Thanksgiving week. And the week of the state game, we're going to be on campus. That'll be a Tuesday night show because that's a Thursday night game, but that's down the road.
That'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to that.
We'll get there when we get there. All right, each and every week, our friends at Montcastle Insurance are going to bring the Defensive Player of the Week, proudly protecting the Triad with trusted coverage since 1890, Mountcastle Insurance. Coach, with that said, I'm going to go to a couple of questions from Brian that leads into a discussion about your defense. He wants to know what kind of defense you're going to run. He says 4-2, 5. Is that kind of the base? And he wants to know specifically about how you're going to play your corners. He wants them up there pressing and getting physical with the wide receivers.
That is many people in this room. You know, there's one thing I said after the first introductory press conference, you know, when I'm getting a chance to meet everybody, in the first 10 things they said, 3 of them at least were like, we got to fix these corners. All right, we got to get these things guys right. Here's what I would say. Coach Scotty Hazelton is our defensive coordinator. It's a funny story because back at North Dakota State in 2008, I believe, I was his graduate assistant. You know, I wouldn't be sitting in front of you, Stan, if it wasn't from that man. I learned team building. I learned defense. It was a really cool, unique defensive tree that we all learned from there. And it is 4-2-5 based. It is about 4 down linemen, being aggressive, getting after the quarterback, playing extremely fast in the back end, and yes, aggressive. You know, and when this scheme has been really you know, successful. We've been tops in the country in takeaways. You know, me and Scotty worked together at the University of Wyoming. I think we led the country in interceptions. You know, so it is a combination of man aggression, but also kind of some zone schemes where guys can have eyes on the ball. And if you can affect the passer, the more guys you get with eyes on the ball, the more aggressive they can be. You know, so we'll do some things. We help the corners in cover 2, but there was some times we feel good about that group. It's probably one of the most improved groups on the team where we'll let those guys go out there and play fast and aggressive.
You have a takeaway formula. I watch you guys work on ball security on offense, but also taking it away on defense. What's your take on, you know, getting that ball away from the other guys?
Well, next time you have a defensive player up here, just ask him, you know, it's all about the what. Okay, and he's going to say, the ball, the ball, the ball. Okay, and
I've seen the T-shirts.
And they say it in unison, and they say it loud. That's how they start all their meetings. Coach Hayes just does a great job of just bringing defensive football to life. You know, because there's not a lot of people up here that want to sit up here and talk defense. They want to know how you're going to score the ball. They want to know all these different things. But that is a winning team, right? You do it together. You're gritty. You get takes away. You know, you're really good about bending and not breaking, being great in the red zone. You know, so I think our guys will continue to do that. But, you know, Nick Anderson leads it with Sean Tung. You know, Devon Patterson. I mean, these are guys that have, you know, gone through the wars together. Dylan Hazen, Quincy Bryant, B.J. Williams, a lot of staple names that Wake Forest fans remember from last year. I've seen this before in my journey throughout defense. You have a group of guys that go out there and they don't create success, you know, but they're tough-minded, they have a great skill set, and they come back. And it's amazing the steps that they've taken, you know, really as a group. And we've added pieces to that. You know, Newer Gatkuth is an amazing defensive end. Gabe Kirschke is an amazing defensive end. Ladarius Webb, Ashad Williams, Trayvon West. You know, these guys are going to be holding down the corner position. Braylon Johnson. So we've added a lot to this defense, but it is going to be fast. It's going to be aggressive. You know, but more importantly, like, my guarantee to them is, like, we're not going to play scared. You can't, right? We're not going to be on our heels. You got to go press, and every once in a while they're going to get you, right? But these guys have an amazing knack of keep coming back. There's one thing I would say about our defensive identity. Nothing phases them, Stan, right? They're going to keep coming at you, and I think that's what you need in a defensive mindset. You know, and it starts with our captain, Nick Anderson. He's phenomenal. Even today, he didn't like the way the scout goal line period went. He was getting after him. It wasn't me. It wasn't Coach Hayes. It was Nick Anderson. And those are the things, when your team is player-driven, you can have a ton of success.
Coach, finally in this segment, Kelly with a question about, with so many new players, is it harder for them to buy into you guys as staff or into one another? They're from all different teams, but that's the landscape of college football now. Yeah. So they come together. You try to knit them together. Well, what's the most difficult part for them, do you think?
I think the biggest thing is we got to be elite trust builders. I think that's my number one job as the head coach. It's the number one job of our staff, is that we got to get these guys to trust us in a quick order. You know, how do you do that? You treat them with respect. You demand the most out of them. You tell them the truth. You know, their job is not to manipulate the truth and to just make sure they're attacking each and every day. But we also do a ton of events. We went paintballing. We go bowling. You saw the basketball thing from fall camp. Our guys really connect competing, and they have to know each other as people. I tell them, get off the phone, get off the Instagram, communicate and talk with each other. We start every team meeting by having a collision question, right? What's your favorite item? Tell them. And they think they're just kind of communicating some funny question. They're bonding over something really good, and just the more connections you can have within a team, an organization, a business, whatever it is, that team is going to be more successful. So like I said, it's about being connected, but it comes with unique challenges in today's world. Right? I'm not going to say we're perfect. The adversities of games will really, reveal who our guys are, because culture is who you are in your hardest moments. Right? It isn't when you're celebrating stuff in practice. When you go through really hard things together, that's when our culture will be tested, and we'll find out where we're at in those times.
Final time out. We will wrap it up with the coach of the Deeks, Jake Dickert, right after you hear this.
Stan Cotton here for Roger Marion Automotive. Roger and his staff have been taking care of me and my family and our cars and trucks for years. From tune-ups to oil changes to a state inspection or that weird sound your engine's making that you can't quite figure out. Roger Marion Automotive can handle whatever issue your vehicle has and get you back on the road with confidence and at a very fair price. Roger Marion Automotive between I-40 and 421 across from West Forsyth High School. Roger Marion Automotive, the only choice for any fan of the Demon Deacons.
Hey Demon Deacon fans, are you ready to level up your tailgate? This season, Little Richard's Barbecue is teaming up with Wake Forest Athletics to bring the tailgate straight to you. You can now pre-order your tailgate meal, and Little Richard's will have it hot, fresh, and ready for pickup at a Legacy Stadium when you arrive. Elevate your game day and your taste buds with custom tailgate packages featuring all your Little Richard's favorites. Call or order online now at littlerichardsbarbecue.com. Go Deeks.
The Deeks live here.
Got it. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
This is the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield.
Looks right, pulls the trigger toward the end zone, going up to grab it. Did he get there? He did! Touchdown, Wake Forest!
Hey, Deke fans, Coach Jake Dickert here. As you prepare for your tailgate this season, remember to bring along some Pepsi. There is something special about tailgating in D-Town with your friends, eating some great food and drinking some ice-cold Pepsi. It's the perfect way to get ready to cheer on the team to victory. Go Deeks!
Wake Forest tailgating is always better with Pepsi.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Okay, back at Miller's on Robin Hood again. What a great night. What a great crowd here on opening night. And we're back here. Yep, we're back here next Wednesday night. Don't be late. Be early if anything. Don't be late. We'll be here Wednesday night, 7 to 8, to talk with Coach Dickert. All right, time now for the Greenway Village Dental question of the night.
Ooh, dangerous.
Could be. They didn't sign this. But it's a layup. It's easy. It's an extra point. Is there any new food item that you've been introduced here in the South since you've been here?
This might be very simple, but like when I grew up in Wisconsin, they don't have hush puppies.
They don't have hush puppies.
They don't have hush puppies. There's not a single really meal that you could ever get to with a hush puppy. And I always just tell my kids it's like the outside of a corn dog. Like that, you're just eating outside of the corn dogs, and like that's the best part anyway. So let's just dip it in this little sauce and let's enjoy.
You know who has great hush puppies?
Who's that? Little Richard's?
Oh,
yeah. Everything there has been great to me.
And you say you're at Little Richard's and you order, and you say, you know what? I'm really kind of full. Just give me 2 or 3. And the server always goes, okay.
Yeah, you get it.
And I promise you get like 27 on there.
Yeah. And then I'll knock off most of them, yes.
But you take those home and you put your dog's medicine in those, and they scarf them up. So they're great pill hiders for your dog.
You know what? I'm going to take your advice on this, and I'm going to have to use it eventually. There we go.
It's awesome. All right.
I haven't quite gotten to like the vinegar barbecue. I'm still working on that. I'm getting in that direction. So I'm coming. I'm getting better.
We'll get you there.
There we go. There we go.
All right, now we're going to draw for the Frost Buddy here.
Okay.
All right.
I love it.
So you get to draw.
All right, take your tickets out. Everybody take your tickets out.
Everybody get your tickets out. These tickets, it didn't cost you anything.
All right. 835.
835.
350.
350.
We got a winner? All right, bring your ticket up.
Abby will bring that deal.
There we go.
See why it's great to come to the Jake Dickert Show?
That's right.
Doesn't cost you
a happy customer.
Doesn't cost you a thing.
Yeah.
You walk away with a great
I don't think
prize.
for the first game we're going to need this. They're saying about 79 degrees.
That's right.
Perfect 7 p.m. kick time.
I did look at the extended forecast. 80 maybe for a high. For a high.
We'll take that.
So at 7 o'clock under the lights, it'll be 64.
It was a weird camp. I mean, the first couple of days, it was like 95, and then all of a sudden, it was like I was in the rainforest for about 10 days. It was about 68 degrees a couple of days. Our guys, trust me, our guys were very thankful.
Here's a question off the wall for you from Al, our favorite chemistry teacher.
All right.
He doesn't know strategy very well.
Okay.
He's not a football X and O guy. Can you recommend a book for him that he might read?
A strategy book?
Yeah.
Wow, I haven't read a strategy book in a minute. All right, I'll throw out
you can think on that one.
I'll throw out like a.
That's a big curveball.
Yeah, I'll throw out a culture book. One book that I've read with our leadership council is The Twin Thieves. Steve Jones is he's a sports psychologist consultant with the Green Bay Packers. He's one of my teammates. If you have an opportunity, it just talks about what holds young people back, and it's the fear of failure and the fear of judgment. And it goes on how you use that to build great teams. So I've used that a lot with our guys, and it's a great storytelling book. So start there. It's the foundation of football, and it'll take you on from there.
Scott has a great question. He wants to know, Coach Jim Caldwell was at camp not long ago. What wisdom did he give you? He's just a great ambassador for the game, and I love Jim and his family, and I know you loved having him at practice.
Coach has been extremely grateful with his time, gracious with his time. Showed up at practice, and two things. He had a big message to the guys. There's no such thing as practice reps. There isn't, right? Every rep you're out there, if you have the focus and the mentality that's a game rep, when you get to the game, it's so easy. And he told a story about Peyton Manning. You know, he just said, every time that man was in the building, you had to be on, right? Because you knew what he was going to bring each and every day. He was ultra consistent, and he talked about when they had a bye week, he knew he wasn't playing, and his backup was going to play that week because they already had the #1 seed. He didn't let his backup take a single rep in practice, even though he wasn't playing that week. Like, that was the mentality. And he said eventually, they talked him into it one time, and he gave Jim Sorgi, was his backup, some reps. He went out there and threw for 300 yards. Peyton Manning's like, I'm never doing that again. Right? So you just get into the mind of an elite performer. Even those guys, like, they're on it every day, and Coach is just so relatable, and it was an honor to have him out there.
Jake, we've got maybe 90 seconds, a minute. Let's kind of take a deep breath. Just kind of reset. Game week, starting tomorrow, right?
Yes.
You're a week out from Kennesaw State. I know you're anxious to get your team out there.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's been a lot of hard work. I remember December 20th, finally getting here and just starting to build a program, and that's exactly what we're doing, everybody. We're building a program. I know our guys are going to go out there and they're going to fight each and every day, not just for themselves, but for you. And I'm really proud of the hard work that they've put in. Like I said, we're ready to hit another colored jersey. It is that time, but you're going to be really proud of this football team. It's going to be tough. It's going to be disciplined. It's going to be one that's going to find any path to victory possible. And I think that's the one thing I want these guys to do is believe in themselves. Hopefully DeMond, I couldn't hear him, but he talked about it, is belief is really empowering. I love the support that we have here at Wake Forest, and it can be done. This can be a big-time college football program, and I'm excited to build on the foundation that's already been built here.
Well, again, I know you want to thank the folks who came here tonight. What a great start. Folks, we appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Give yourselves a round of applause.
Absolutely.
I can't wait, but this just embodies what that stadium and running out of the tunnel is going to feel like, Stan, for the first time. I just can't wait. There's 2,000 seats left, you said. Let's fill those up. Our guys are just so proud, and it means something to them. I want you to know that. Showing up on days like this, showing up at the stadium, it means so much to them, and you're going to be so dang proud. It's going to be awesome.
And want to also give a big shout out to the staff here at Miller's on Robin Hood. Their first go at it. I had the chicken tenders. It's like 3 chicken breasts on a plate. I was like, well, I can't eat. That's not chicken tenders.
I'm getting the nachos to go. It comes out of like a garbage pail. Like, I mean, it is real. So I'm excited about it. What a great venue. Miller's is awesome. And if you're waiting for game week, can't wait to see you out next week.
Coach, appreciate your time. We'll see you folks next Wednesday night right back here for the Jake Dickert Show. Good night.
Go Deeks.
Go Deeks.
You've been listening to the Jake Dickert Show on the Wake Forest Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show has been brought to you by Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist, the official healthcare partner of the Demon Deacons. A Legacy Federal Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of Wake Forest football. The proceeding has been a Learfield presentation of the Wake Forest Sports Network.